Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? One second. Got everything going. Cool. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to August. We'll wait a second for everybody to join. While I'm waiting on questions to come in, by the way, I'm Alex. I own a barbershop, and I'm here today to help you guys out. So any questions you have, feel free to type them in the chat. I'm here with you guys for the next half hour, maybe go longer, depending on, how good the questions are and everything. I do have other stuff to do today, so I'm going to try to keep this call a little shorter. But Vital Cuts, David, 2000, Etchem, First Co Barber, welcome. Um, I'm seeing some of the same faces joining every single week. I love that. I love this. I'm glad you guys are joining me on a Tuesday when you guys could be doing other things. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Um, there's two ways you guys can interact with these calls, by the way. If you want, you can type them in the chat. Better yet, actually, if you wanted to join my free community, which I'll put on screen right now, this is my free community. If you're not a part of it, I highly recommend you are. I know some of you guys are, but it's doesn't cost anything to join. It's literally 100% free forever. There's nothing like it's free. I do have a second group that's not free, which has all like way more courses and everything. But if you just want to interact with me and like 3,000 other barbers now, this is another way that you can interact on these calls because I try to answer questions that come up inside this community. As you can see, anybody can post in here, anybody can reply. So it's just kind of a valuable way for us to kind of network outside of these calls. So that's always there for you guys. The link to that is in my bio, wherever you're watching this, and it is 100% free. The other group that I have that's not free is a group that I pretty much exclusively work with barbershop owners. So I don't know if you guys can see me. Yeah, there you go. That one is just for people that have a barbershop and are looking to grow. It's a really small group. I'm probably not going to let too many more people inside that group because I want to keep it really small because my full-time job is to, grow my barbershop. So I can't really do that if I'm spending a bunch of time helping other people grow theirs. So I just like to work with a small group of people. But so feel free to, join that if you need help growing your shop. If not, I do these calls to give value away for free for the people that aren't ready for that. And also, some people are reaching out to me privately, to talk about like one-on-one calls and stuff. I actually don't do one-on-one calls anymore for the free group because most people aren't really serious. And you can always hop on these calls and I'll answer any question you want, you know. So yeah, that's why I do this too. Just because not everybody can do the one-on-one or the paid stuff. So yeah, I do these calls for free because I unlike other people, I really don't need to be doing this. Like I just do this for fun. I think that this is fun to give back, right? Bursco Barber wants to know, is it worth joining the pay group if I'm just a booth rent barber? Okay, so that's a great question. Anybody can join the pay group and get value out of it for sure. I just see that the people that get the most value out of it are usually barbershop owners, if that makes sense, right? Because you can get way more out of it. If that makes sense, right? Because you learning how to cut hair faster, right? Which is, let me just share my screen so I can show you what's inside. Um, it's not sure. It's not show. There it is. Okay. So these are all the courses that are inside the Barber Shop Owner Mastermind as of right now. What's up, Tonsorial E? So as you can see, like a lot of these courses are like more about business. There's like no courses in here about like how to cut hair better, like because I don't do that, right? There's other people that are way better at doing that. I focus on the business side. So, for example, how to cut hair faster is like one of the first courses that I made. That will absolutely help you make more money, right? If haircut times is a problem with you, right? But it will not, you won't make you as much money as it would a barbershop owner, right? Because you can take the stuff from this course, have your barbers watch it, and then your whole team starts cutting faster. And then, so you get way more out of it, if that makes sense. If you're just like working for yourself. Same thing with the how to price your haircuts, how to run ads on Meta. These are all things that anybody can use, even an individual barber that's doing booth rent. how to get clients for free on Google. You know, this stuff, some of the stuff's definitely not going to be relevant for you, right? Like how to hire barbers and stylists is another course that's inside this community. Um, Membership course, probably not going to be super relevant. But like I said, anybody can join this community. You're probably just going to get more out of it because right now it's tailored more towards barbershop owners. So barbershop owners will get more out of it than an individual barber. But I think anybody can join this community, and not everybody inside this community is a barbershop owner. Most people are, though, right? So does that answer your question? You will absolutely get value out of it. I just cater it towards barbershop owners. So that's kind of like what I'm focusing on right now. What'd you miss? So I'm just, answering questions. Any questions you might have, type them in the chat. I was just kind of going over what's inside what's kind of the difference between the free group that I have and the paid group. As some people maybe are thinking about joining my barbershop owner mastermind, but they don't actually own a barbershop. So, that's what I was explaining. It's like anybody can get value out of it. It's just definitely catered more towards barbershop owners right now. In the future, I'm slowly, I mean, I keep creating courses. I'm just going to keep dumping everything I've learned from my 10 plus years of running a barbershop inside this community, just one course at a time. And then eventually it's going to probably just be like really wide where like literally anybody can benefit from this, whether you're a barbershop owner, that's kind of what I was explaining there. So the course is the stuff's just going to get more valuable over time. So anybody that gets in now, I mean, I'm just gonna add a new course, add another course, add another course, and I also go back and I update like the courses that exist right now because things change, right? And I learn things. So just because you go through a course once doesn't necessarily, at least that's the way I do it. Some people just sell a course and then like never update it. Like I actually go back and I like add like, oh shit, I learned this. They probably need to learn that. So I go back and update it. I do that all the time with like the meta ads course, for example. I'll share my screen again. Okay. I'm not trying to sell you guys. It's just like answering a question here. You guys do whatever you want. You don't have to join my course. Like, you can learn this stuff for free on YouTube, right? For honestly, like, but if you want to see how I applied it to my barbershop, like that's what I do, you know? So I like to share the stuff, like some of the ads that are performing, right now. I share that stuff inside the community. Like these are things that get updated over time. As I learn something, I add it to the course, right? And I create new courses. Like this is the course that I'm working on right now, the membership course. I'm a little over halfway done with it. As you can see, all these videos with the check mark have been recorded, and I just recorded tracking membership usage and integrating booking software. So got a few more, and then I'll add some bonuses and templates and scripts, and then it's doing good. And then I move on to the next thing, which is, probably going to be something related to marketing, since everybody loves marketing. I love marketing too. It's definitely not the only thing you need to know to grow a barbershop, but people love it. So I'm probably gonna, you know, make a course on how to run Google Ads since a lot of people are interested in that. And we do run Google Ads, but I definitely am I definitely favor Meta. So like Facebook, Instagram, that's where most of our clients come from. Uh, we don't get a lot of clients from Google Ads. We do get a lot of clients from Google. Thinking about joining, but I'm leading to make my own barbershop. Yeah, I mean, but do whatever you want, man. I'm here if you need help. But we also have a free community. You can hop on these calls, ask questions anytime you want. Um, no pressure, right? I'm here for you. Any other questions? I can start just going through the community answering questions if you guys need some inspiration. Actually, you know what? I think what you guys might find valuable is like I have this document. I'm not going to share it on screen, but I'll just kind of read it. Since 2022, I've been basically keeping a change log of almost every major change I've made in the business. And the reason I started doing that is because for the first 5 years in business, like I didn't track anything. The only thing I knew was sales, right? I didn't even have like QuickBooks connected to my bank accounts, like nothing. I couldn't even tell you what our revenue was for the first few years. And then about 5 years in, we opened our second location. And then that's when all hell broke loose, right? Like I started to see like, oh shit, like I really need to start paying attention and learning what these numbers were. So the first thing I did was I hired a coach, right? And that coach taught me these are the numbers that you need to look at. You need to track everything. And we worked together for like 2+ years, right? And that basically saved my business. Now, this is why I'm a big believer in education and giving back and like why I do these calls because I don't get, anything out of doing this besides like it makes me feel good. Um, and so one of the things that we track is retention. And retention for us, we have to wait 3 months to learn what it is. So I don't even remember what I did 3 months ago that could have affected our retention. So I started keeping a change log so that I can make a change, right, and note what the number was prior to the change. And then I can look back at it like 3 years, 3 months later, right? And then I was like, did the retention go up, down? And then if it went up, like maybe it was because of that change we made, right? So that's why I started doing the change log, and it's just been an ongoing habit. I started doing that in 2022. So it took me a while to start actually doing this habit, and I'm not perfect about it, but it has been one of the like the highest ROI type habits that I've done, just because I mean it doesn't really cost much time. Like, you just like whenever you change something, timestamp it, like this is the date today. What did you change? Maybe some explanation why, and then a screenshot of maybe what the thing was prior to the change. So, for example, one of the things that I changed recently was we completely revamped our website. We were just on an old template from like 7 years ago, right? And it works. I mean, I got a lot of compliments on our website, but some of the stuff was going to stop working because that's how old the template was, and they're like changing everything over. So I've completely rebuilt a new website, and I can show you what our website looks like. So, one second while I pull it up on screen. Why do we track retention over 3 months? Is because we tried looking at a shorter period and the numbers were really depressing. So, and it un, unlike what you guys might assume, and this is the difference between assumptions and facts and data. Like I used to think that our client frequency was once a month, right? People are coming in once a month. Of course, that makes sense, right? As a barbershop. But in reality, our client frequency turns out to be closer to like 7 to 8 weeks, right? Which is not once a month, if you think about it. So we need to give enough time for the retention window to basically um, to account for that. That makes sense. So that's why we wait 3 months, because if you look sooner than that, at least for our shop, the number is not super accurate and it changes when we look at it again. So 3 months we found was the short 90 days was the shortest period that we could look at before we could consider that number accurate. So what does that mean? So we're in August now, right? So we just found out that what our April retention was, and I'm happy to show you guys our retention too. I'm gonna try to keep the barbers' names out of it. But anyways, this is our website. Um, I did this whole thing. I used Squarespace. I built the whole thing. And yeah, so once we switched over, I can show you this part. This was our data prior to the change, right? So this is the conversion rate. So how many people went to our website and booked an appointment? We got regular clients, that's the just the purchaser rate, and then we got first time. So I mean they never been to our website before. And I was actually told by my one of my current coaches, Corey at FillYourBooks.com, who if you need help running ads, reach out to them. Um, that our website was already really good. Like 8.2% is actually like extremely good in the e-commerce world and just in general, right? So it was 8.2% prior to the change. And I don't think I can pull it up because I access it through a different browser. But our current conversion rate, no, you guys are just not going to believe me if I don't pull it up. So one second. I'm going to pull up Google Analytics. Um, and then this is our current rate, right? So you guys see, like I can prove everything I say on this channel, right? Purchase rate, 52% increase, right? And then first time, 61% increase just by changing our website from white to black. No, I'm just kidding. We made other changes, but that's the difference having a good website can make, right? And then I told you I was going to show you our retention, right? So let me just pull that up real quick. I mean, unshare my screen so you guys don't see any secret shit. I'm gonna pull up retention, and if you guys have any questions while I'm pulling this up, feel free to type them in the chat. Would you recommend as a booth runner to have your own website? Yes, absolutely. I have a whole video on my YouTube channel that explains the benefit of having a website. It's like so easy now to create a website that I think that, of course there's a learning curve like everything, but if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. It's probably easier now than it used to be. You got like ChatGPT and Gemini and all these templates and tools. Like, yeah, you should definitely have your own website for sure. So let me just show you because I don't want to like put all any of my barbers on blast, right? So I'm just gonna scroll down and then I'll just show you the shop's retention. Would you guys want to see our shop's retention? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm like exclusively looking at Instagram. Okay, there's no YouTube comments, but if you guys are watching on YouTube, Facebook, yeah, feel free to leave a comment so I can answer your questions. All right, so this is our barbershop's retention. By the way, this is one of the most powerful one of the most powerful graphics I think I've ever created. I did a lot of math to figure this out, but yeah, I'm holding the barbers now accountable to this number, by the way. So if somebody's basically between less than 60% booked, that they're kind of like on notice at that point, like we're gonna have to work on this, or we may not be able to keep you around, right? Just because look at this is the reality, right? If you're retaining less than 60% of your clients, even if you're at 60, exactly 60, it's going to take you several years to become fully booked. And I don't have that kind of patience anymore. Nobody really, no barbers too want to take that long to get fully booked. So 60% is kind of the cutoff now, right? If it's less than 60, I'm actually literally just highlighting it red, like needs major improvement when I share this with the barbers. But if you look at this is the shop statistics, okay? So this is for April, 3 months ago. Um, 43% new client retention, 34 for Riverside and Southside. So not bad, not terrible. We got 186 new clients in that month. Let's see. And then so we're retaining 82% of our repeat clients and 83%. The average is 82 across both locations. So that's pretty good, right? So what I look at, what I pay attention to is total client retention because it's kind of a blend of both. Because I used to pretty much exclusively focus on repeat, and I think that was a mistake because we were just kind of ignoring new clients. Your repeat clients are the ones that keep you in business, like for sure, but you don't want to just ignore new clients. So I look at total now. So total, like the blend of both, we're retaining about 72%. Which means, if you think about it, you can apply this same logic almost to the barbershop. But as a barbershop, if we keep that number, which we're not going to keep it, we're going to try to improve it. We're going to be fully booked as a barbershop in 1 to 2 years. Probably closer to one since we're at 72. But we're going to try to improve that, right? Because there's a few people like with any team, there's a few people that are like really, really good, and there's a few people that are like down there, 50%, 60%, and that's kind of dragging down the average. But like overall, I think this is pretty good, right? We want to definitely be as high as possible. 80% plus is I think I'll be really happy if we hit that goal. So yeah, so Retro Thunder, you could we get a link to what? Can you because I don't remember what we were talking about earlier. Um, Do you think passing out business cards is dead? No, I don't think so. That's just not the way I built my shop. But yeah, I mean, do whatever you want. Um, I like to do things that reach many people with little work. But if that's what you got to do to build your clientele, it certainly doesn't help. Now we did like back in the day before I knew how to run ads and do things like Google and stuff like that. We used to pass out flyers. We did door hangers. And we did pass out cards, but it wasn't a lot. Like we didn't do a lot of that because I just hated it, right? I don't have a good excuse besides the fact that I hated it and I felt like there might have been a better way. So ever since then we just kind of focus on um, the high leverage things, Meta, for example. I can go on there right now and change my budget and reach 100,000 people instantly, you know? And I've done that. So this is kind of things that I focus on because I try to think, I'm trying to grow this barbershop to be a big business one day. And I try to think like I try not to do things that I wouldn't do to get to that point, if that makes sense. So if I wouldn't do it at 10 million or 100 million in revenue, I'm probably going to stop doing it soon, you know? So that includes maybe these calls too. Like I like enjoy doing these, but there's going to come a time where it's like, sorry, this isn't a good use of my time anymore. There's going to come a time where I have to raise the price of the barbershop owner groups because like this is taking so much of my time and like I'm really trying to focus on building a big business here. So right now is like the time to join. Um, but to build my website, I use Squarespace. So I think it's just squarespace.com. But there's a lot of ones, a lot of tools out there. I think it's just squarespace.com. But yeah, that's just what I use. I mean, there's a lot of website builders out there. You could probably even use ChatGPT to build your website like from scratch. But I think there's another one that's really popular. Starts with a W. Um, if I could go back in time, I would have done it on this website instead. Let me just search website builders. It's not Wix. It's WordPress. Yeah, WordPress, I think, is the one that has the most plugins and stuff like that. So I would probably learn WordPress. But I'm familiar with Squarespace at this point, and I'm even with my website converting at how it is, I'm really happy with the conversion. At some point in the future, I'm going to have to get a professional to come in and actually design us like a whole new website, and that's going to be like crazy expensive. But I don't think that's necessary right now, but it's going to have to happen in the future. So that's what I use, Squarespace. But you could also look at WordPress, you can look at Wix and GoDaddy, or I mean, it doesn't cost much time to get a basic website started. The hard part is actually like getting it optimized, like so that you can get people that are just visiting to convert into booked appointments. That's the hard part. And that requires like tracking it. So I think the first step in like trying to change anything is first start tracking it. So we got Google Analytics, which is free, which is what I showed you earlier, to track the purchase rate and everything. We got all that connected to our website, and that's how we can track a lot of things. That's how I know the demographics of the people that come to our shop, so we can refine our targeting. I mean, I can see where people are coming from, so we can see what channels are driving the most traffic to our website. So this is how I know that like a lot of people are coming from Google and Facebook, you know, and Pinterest. Surprisingly, like, do you guys post on Pinterest? We do. It's one of the coolest platforms because it allows you to link to your website. So somebody clicks on one of your posts on Pinterest and it takes them to your website. So I'm like, oh, we get actually, I think we get more traffic from Pinterest than we get from TikTok. Yeah. So, which is, most of these platforms to like punish that, not punish, but they don't want to make it easy for you to send traffic to another website, where Pinterest doesn't really seem to care about that. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, so what else is new in our shop? Let's see here. We have been increasing our product sales, and one of the simple things that we waited one of the simple ways that we did that was basically adding more selection. So I think this is going to be the cool thing to kind of look back on these videos a few years from now to kind of see how my mindset has changed. But I used to think that having a small selection of products would lead to like less decision fatigue, and therefore we would sell more. It turned out the opposite happened. So if the goal is to sell products, it's usually a good idea to have a good selection of it. Different scents, different sizes, so different price points too. Because yeah, so we're experimenting with that but right now because we've really been shifting our focus to client retention. But products are definitely, it's not the main part of our business, and you definitely don't want to just push people super hard to try to buy the product because if they don't come back, then it wasn't really worth it. Um, but we did find that we can increase product sales by just having a greater selection, you know? So yeah, once you find a product that sells well, definitely a good idea to keep a good amount of it. Like start with a small amount, test it, and then if it sells well, make sure that you always have that in stock when it comes to trying to sell products. Um, yeah, we are testing the digital signage in our shop to try to see can we influence client behavior by controlling what is on the TV. So we use Rockbot right now for our music and our digital signage and our TV. So it's a pretty cool software. Um, I don't, it's way too early for me to let you guys know if this makes any sense at all to to go through the trouble of trying to control what's on the TV. But I'll report back in a few months whether I'm still doing it. Honestly, right now, I'm not sure that it's worth it to go through the trouble of like you have to set up this player and you have to create all these, things, slideshow that you want to show on the TV. It looks really cool. It looks super professional, but I'm not sure that it's worth the effort. So it's one of those things that I'll let you know. I'm testing it in my shop, and if it makes a big difference, I'll tell you guys you should definitely think about doing this. But right now, I'm not 100% sure that it's worth it. Um, Surge pricing has been working really well for us. So if you guys don't know, for the uh, last couple months, I think we started doing this in June, maybe May, where we started basically adding a 10% fee, a surge fee, if we get above, I think it was above 80% booked. It's made no difference. It's made no difference as far as like we've had like in like 3 or 4 months, however long we've been testing it, we've had like less than five people complain about it that I'm aware of. So what's happening is that we're just making more money on our busy days. So that's kind of cool. And I think in the long term, what might start happening is people start moving, like, okay, to get around that surge fee, they're just going to try to come in on a less busy day, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want, right? So I would still consider this kind of early, but so far it's looking like it might have been a good decision to do this because it does allow the barbers to make more, right? Since they're paid based on their sales, it does allow the barbers to make more money if they are charging more. And so for the barbers that truly understand surge pricing, they should want to rebook people. They should want to get people on the membership because the more busy, the more full your schedule is, the more you will benefit from that, right? Um, and I think soon we're for sure going to um, be awarded at least the runner-up, right, for the best barbershop in all of Florida. We're in one of those three categories. We're either because they officially announce it later this month, but we're gonna probably end up winning at least one more award this month because we did a local contest, best barbershop in Jacksonville, and we're definitely in the top five. Today is actually the gala where they announce the winner. And to continue our tradition, we're not gonna go. If we end up winning, we'll be in the newspaper. We'll have that title. But yeah, we've never gone to this awards gala, and I think it's just kind of funny because I there's probably other people there, other barbershop owners that are like dressed up nice and they got their acceptance speech ready, and then I think it would be just really funny to win and then not even show up. I think that would be really cool. So I'll let you guys know next week. I'll find out today, right? But or tomorrow, because the awards gala is tonight at like 6 p.m. I'll let you guys know next week if we won, and if we did, that'd be so funny. Just, I would be surprised if we don't win, just because I did a lot. Actually, did a lot of effort. So if somebody beats us, then they deserve it, right? But these contests, like best of whatever, best in your city, or if you think about it, they're actually like a. It's not really about who's the best. It's about who's the best at marketing, right? Because it's a voting contest. Whoever gets the most votes is the one that wins. So if you it's really a test to see who's the best at marketing. I consider myself okay at marketing. What I did different this year, I don't want to give my tactics away too much, but I definitely spent some money this year, as well as using the paid tool, the free tools that we have, like putting signs up in the shop, um, asking people, and of course sending out email blasts to our customer list, because it's one of the most valuable assets that you have in a barbershop. Is you should have, I think, a list of everybody that's ever booked an appointment with you. And I think at least once a month, minimum. I just sent one out today. You should be doing an email blast just to remind people that you're there. Just you don't even have to sell them anything. You could just do a newsletter, like here's how to treat dry hair or something, but like at least once a month, just hit up everybody on your list. Just say booked an appointment. So now you should have their phone number or their email or both. I usually do at least one email blast. And then if I'm really trying to get people to come in the door, I'll send a text message blast. Just everybody comes in. Yeah, everybody that has we have their phone number that's opted into the marketing, they're gonna get a text message blast from us. So yeah, yeah, follow-up system is a great idea. This is something that I think a lot of people don't do. Uh, s- People like will just cut your hair and then like let you leave and then never talk to you again after that. But I think the best barbers think of the long-term relationship with the client. What are you gonna do? What do you what are you gonna say to them after to like let them know that you remember them, that you're there and you're not just another number, just sits in my chair. So it's one of the easiest things that anybody can do right now to improve uh, client retention, I think, is just follow up with people. Like, did you like your haircut? Thanks for coming in. Like, how do you like your haircut? And if they're super happy, then you can ask them to write a review. If they're not happy, then use that feedback to ask them to try to get better, right? So following up with people is a free thing. Like anybody can do this, but most people don't. So it's really, which should be exciting to you because it's not that hard to stand out, right? A lot of the things that we do in our shop and that some of the best barber shops in the world do are not really like anything that you guys can't do if as just starting out. You know, we try different days after the haircut, a 14 day, and between at 21. After the haircut, ask to reschedule. Yep, simple. One thing that we do that I want to test is actually rebooking people before their haircut. Um, we haven't really tested that yet, but if there's another barber just hanging out, right, they can walk up to that client that's waiting and be like, "Hey, before you get your haircut, did you want to try to rebook your next one so that you save some time later?" Yeah, and then you try to get them rebooked. Rebooking is one of the easiest ways to increase frequency of visit, increase retention. Um, and clients, once they get used to it, love it, right? Especially if you're not charging them no-show fees or cancellation fees. Yeah, they love it. And then some of you guys might be concerned with like no-shows and stuff. Well, I'll probably make a YouTube video on this in the future, but we've done a lot to reduce our no-show rate. And none of those things involve charging cancellations and no-show fees. But some of the main things are just make it easy. Make it easy to reschedule. Make it easy to cancel, right? If you're charging no-show fees, there's nothing, first of all, I don't have anything against no-show fees. I just don't do them, right? Because I've seen the effect that it has. Clients are pissed off and Nobody really likes it, right? I don't like doing it. Clients hate it. So we really tried to focus on how can we reduce our no-show rate without charging people for not showing up. So one of the simplest ideas is just make it easy to cancel, make it easy to reschedule. So we send multiple reminders, 3 reminders for every appointment. Um, the timing of those reminders is important. We do 24-hour, 2 hours, and then if they don't confirm, we send another one. Um, and then they can cancel their appointment super easily by just replying to the text message that they get. We also have a free app. They can use our website. They can call. Um, and but it's a lot easier to rebook people if they're not afraid that there's going to be some punishment if they don't show up. Um, yeah. So at the register, we say total and review included. For example, 35 and a review. 2 hours I hear. Yeah. Yeah, 2 hours is the one that we found is the last reminder is the most important one. Right. So we found that 4 hours. So we tested a few different times. We tested sending reminders like the day of. So it doesn't matter what time their appointment was, they would just get a reminder at like 9 a.m. or something. That didn't work for sure because people there sometimes like if they're booked at like fucking 5 p.m., they're gonna forget about it by then, you know? So then so we also tested 4 hour reminder. Again, that was also like a lot of time that could have life can get in the way, so they forget about their appointment again. We tested 1 hour, which was we found too soon. We were getting a lot of people like, oh shit, I don't think I can make it there by then. Because they're like, depending on what side, Jacksonville's a big city where I am. So depending on where they are, and they might not have enough time, even with an hour, to drop what they're doing and get to the barbershop. So that's how we settled on 2 hours for the last reminder. So yeah, that one's the most important. But definitely 24-hour one is good because if they cancel that one, then you have 24 hours to fill that spot. And then we also added a third reminder that everyone gets. If it's more than a week in advance, they get a 1 week reminder. So that was also helpful, right? Because then you have a week to fill that spot. Yeah, cool guys. Well, good questions today. Any other questions before I let you guys go? I'm going to continue to work on the Barbershop Owner Mastermind membership course. I see a lot of shit on social media about memberships, and most of it's coming from people who've never tried it. So just, be aware of that. You got to be careful who you listen to on social media. And we did a course or class a couple weeks ago, and we recorded the whole thing. Patrick Loyal came out. He's an amazing educator, and I'm going to be posting that inside the community. So if you want access to that course, make sure to join my free community. The link to that is in my bio, wherever you're watching this. So cool. I think we're gonna hold on. Thanks for the video. I see you put a lot of effort into it. Yeah, man, I try to. I try, I try to find a balance between we're not trying to make content easy to make, but also valuable. So I'm not in like some super high quality studio, as you can see, but I try to the value, like the things that I say and show on screen, I think is the most important thing. So hopefully you guys continue to get value out of these calls. I don't know how much longer I'll do them for, but I'll keep doing them as long as I can. But if you want to interact with me outside of these calls, join one of my communities. The link to both of those is in my bio. I'll end it for today. I'll see you guys next time.